Hello, everyone. Well, as you have probably noticed, I have been missing for a couple months, and I had been going through kind of a personal health crisis. I found out that I was unexpectedly pregnant, and being older, I had really wanted to be done. I kind of felt like my body was saying, "That's it. We don't want to do this again." But I found out that I was pregnant with my ninth baby. Now, up to this point, I had had three hospital births, three home births, two birth center births, and we were intending on having this baby with a hospital, or I'm sorry, with a birth center birth. Well, pretty much right away, we started finding out that there was going to be some health issues with me initially. I started out with gestational diabetes, and we worked for weeks to try to get that resolved with food and trying to avoid having to go on insulin. We finally get that stabilized, and I'm thinking I'm in my home stretch. I'm getting ready to have this baby, and we find out head is not down. And total breach, head way up, almost under my rib cage, and he was just not moving for anything. We started out with chiropractic work. I tried doing inversions. I was pouring over stuff on the internet, trying to figure out how to get this baby to turn. And I kept thinking he was going to turn, he was going to turn, he was going to turn. Finally, we decided that we were going to go and do the external inversion at the OBGYN. So gone was my dream and hope of having my third birth center birth, which, oh, my birth center is just amazing. I was really kind of mourning the fact that I was not going to be able to have my baby there. And so we scheduled the inversion for a Tuesday. And then on Monday morning at 8 o'clock, or at 10 o'clock, we were going to start trying to have acupuncture. And so my acupuncturist wanted to wait until I was completely full term in order to start trying to get the baby to turn using acupuncture. So 10 o'clock on Monday, we're going to do that. Tuesday, we have the external inversion, and I'm just now 37 weeks. Well, Sunday night, I started having contractions, and they started getting more and more consistent. And so on Monday morning at 7 o'clock, I had to call the birth center and tell them to prepare to transfer me to our hospital, our local children's hospital. And so gone was the idea of even a vaginal hospital birth. Now we're moving on to C-section. And I had already known that that was a possibility. My mother had a C-section. My sister had a C-section. And so, I wasn't too unfamiliar, but I just wasn't something that I had really thought about having to do. And so with the C-section, I was totally not aware of just, oh my goodness, emotionally, it was completely different than having a vaginal birth. It was, I would describe it as a near-death experience. That wasn't something that I, had really expected to feel. And then to make matters worse, the postpartum health effects was completely different. So if you don't know about a C-section, they really try to pump you full of fluids. They are trying to minimize blood loss, and they want to make sure that you have enough fluids in your body to maintain your body during this really kind of intense major surgery, right? And so they weighed me before I went in. And I am thinking that after the delivery, I am going to be down, 8 pounds or so, minus the weight of the baby, the placenta, the extra blood, the water, all that stuff. Well, just to give you an idea of how much fluid was actually put into my body, when they weighed me the next day, I was 4 pounds heavier than I had been when the baby and the placenta and the extra blood and the amniotic fluid was still in my body. So that's a lot of fluid that was in my body. And one of the things that I didn't realize was a side effect of that extra fluid is high blood pressure. And so, they had been testing my blood pressure, and it had kind of been steadily increasing, and they finally decided that they were going to have to put me on high blood pressure medicine. Now, at this point in time, I have surrendered to modern medicine, and I'm just really trusting my doctors to make the best decision for me. And I feel like they did, but I wish that they would have shared with me a little bit more of the background about why I needed to be on high blood pressure medicine. And they were very adamant that it was probably only going to be 2 weeks or so, and then I would be able to be off it. But I couldn't figure out why that was. Well, it turns out that all that extra fluid was really messing with my blood pressure, and it's going to take about 2 weeks for my body to process that extra fluid out of my body, at which point my blood pressure was likely to be back down to normal. And that is what ended up happening. But I was really, to be quite honest, freaking out for like a week and a half as I'm like constantly checking my blood pressure, as I am dealing with other postpartum issues, incision care, and stuff like that. And so it was a really simple explanation that I wish that they would have shared with me, that I wouldn't have had to go out and research on my own. Now, granted, this was an emergency C-section. When my water broke, it was like, we got to get this baby out now. Luckily, it broke while I was at the hospital. So it was just a very traumatic ordeal that really I'm still kind of recovering from now. Now, perhaps you have had a C-section expected or planned, and I want you to be aware of the extra fluid and the potential for high blood pressure, and kind of have an understanding of why it is that your blood pressure is higher. And when they tell you that it's going to likely be better in 2 weeks, why that is. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope it put your mind a little bit at ease. I wanted to share a little bit of my own personal health journey with you and let you know, your body is amazing. It heals in amazing ways. And, even though it was a near-death experience for me, I have been able to really bond with this baby, knowing that we went through some crazy stuff together that I haven't had to experience before. And now I will never have to experience it again, hopefully. So I hope this was helpful. If you liked it and you want more information about natural health, parenting, childcare, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in another video. Thank you. Have a great day.